Welcome to problem 4.12 on page 160. Chapter 4 has to do with a brief introduction to probability. And in this particular case, we have a simple, what's called 2 by 2. There's 2 rows and there's 2 columns of data that's been collected between 1,803 academic professionals. And looking at the support for digital learning. So in this particular case, in part A, it says fully supports increased use of technological or educational technologies. So you simply take the total of the row that says yes. You divide it by the grand total, or the bottom right-hand corner, 1,803 divided into 686, and you get basically 0.3805, so about 38%. So that means the 62% do not support educational technologies in higher ed. B, you're looking for the digital learners. So in this particular case, you take the column that is digital learners, are 206 out of the entire total of 1803, and that works out to be 0.1143, so 11.43%. In part C, fully supports the use of digital technologies in higher ed or is a digital learner. So in this particular case, it's very different. It's the opposite to and. So you can be one or the other. So you can, there's a couple of ways to do this. One is take the total that support digital learning, which is the 206 is a digital learner. And then one is supporting, which is 686. But you're double counting. It's the same thing as counting up the number of students in class who have brown hair or they have brown eyes. Now there's going to be, you count people with brown hair, count it. People with brown eyes, count it. Well, what about if somebody has both characteristics? Then you're double counting. So in this case, that's a conjunction, big fancy word for the intersection between the two. So you take the intersection out. If it was or, like it is now, you take the intersection out. If it was and, it would only be the intersection. So in this particular case, 686 plus 206 minus the ones that you're double counting, the 175 works out to be 717. So slightly less than 40%, 39.77 to be exact. So in part D, the probability those people who fully support increased use of educational technology, right? And that's what part C did. And those who are digital learners. So they measure two different things. One is digital learners and one is fully supporting, and in this case is or. They don't have to be a digital learner to be supportive. So for example, if they're not a digital learner but they're supportive, that's the 511 in the top left-hand corner. So you just have to be careful as to what the columns and the rows represent and what type of information you're trying to extract. And there will be no Excel video on this because you can just use your calculator just as easily as setting up a spreadsheet in Excel. If you want to set up a spreadsheet in Excel, be my guest because you're going to get this question on assignments and quizzes.